Well, this is a relatively large project, so there are many things to consider simultaneously. Things such as the site, its location, and its importance in the overall master plan. As you know, it is in Etobicoke, and it's part of the Motel Strip master plan. So the east side starts with the Palace Pier, the old buildings that were done in the 70s and 80s. And our site really is the termination point for that master plan, so it's got a very important function as a terminus, so it has to kind of be iconic. It is a project that will basically have approximately 1,000 units. So there are issues as to how people can live together in such a dense environment and what is unique about it to actually make it village-like. And then finally, its function in the way it sits in the master plan is very important because there are already existing streets. There's going to be a park that we'll be designing to the west of us. So how do people who live in the other buildings are able to flow through naturally by walking into our site, feel welcomed, and continue on to the parks? When I started thinking about that project is the idea of referencing nautical themes, and in particular cruise ships. Not that I think we wanted to be literal about it, but that there was a way to actually give a nod to these things and have people make these associations themselves. It was important that these towers and the base create a kind of a natural transition between one another, and therefore the cascading effect of the tower falling and becoming the base itself. So this kind of, smooth transition is the moment that actually creates this association with cruise ships and so forth, because there's this transition between large plates that step back, big decks that overlook the water, and then slowly building up to the tall element, which is the tower itself. So this seamless transition, I think, is a key aesthetic move that actually coins the building differently from other projects. And I think that contributes to its overall look and effect. We didn't want to make two equal towers because that was just a bit too mundane. And so we decided to make a taller tower and a shorter tower. And then the other thing we wanted to do was to place them in such a way that when they cascade down, they create a moment at the corner. So the placement of the towers diagonally across from each other served many functions. One of them was to transition this mass, and the other one was to space them as far apart as possible so that they created, in a way, a gateway view towards the west and did not necessarily overlap each other and create a kind of a wall. What we're finding, and I think many developers are finding, is that today design sells. So the more interesting the thought process behind the way the project is made, the more successful your sales become. And I think as a formula, it's become very important for developers to have unique buildings, interesting buildings, and evocative buildings that actually sell.